Greetings, comrades. Welcome to the eastern border. Well, COVID has taken its toll on me. Sorry, my voice once again sounds like a totally weird thing. And this is not even yet the full end of the year thing. But yeah, this is just the update on the news on some things that I find really important. Well, it has been confirmed that Marinka is now under Russian control. Problem is, Marinka basically does not exist anymore. I wouldn't call whatever that was actually, existing, because currently it's a total bit of nothingness happening there, and yeah, Ukraine's forces have withdrawn, but it doesn't really seem that much will change from this. That's the only thing that could happen. The town is completely destroyed, and saying that it's been captured by Russian army is inaccurate. But that's still going to be something that'll plop up soon enough. And that's mostly about the war. The thing is, having an easy thing to talk about, because it's Arestovich, to be honest. I want to get to Arestovich because I've been watching him a lot, but first I'd like to talk about something that really weirdly happened recently in Russia, in our Meanwhile in Russia segment. Well, you know that on the front lines, things might be bad, but they're not as terrible as people like to portray them. See, the traditional values crusaders, what Russia calls traditional values crusaders, have found a new battle. And apparently it's all against nudity. And I'd like to add, what if they accidentally discover this so-called oral sex, the most devious invention of all things European, as we learned last time. Anyhow, there was a party. There was this scene at Mutabor nightclub on Wednesday, December 20th, where blogger and a TV presenter, Nastya Ilieva, hosted a almost naked party. A ticket for the evening reportedly cost about 1 million rubles, which is about approximately 10,000. Yeah, approximately $10,000, which is quite a lot. And a lot of celebrities just plopped in there because the dress code was being almost naked. And rapper Vasilio or Nikolai Vasilyev wore nothing but socks on his feet and penis, and everyone else wore very transparent suits and everything, and that went into full-on insanity. A bunch of internet users went all around talking about this. There was immediate outrage from conservative activists and pundits, and of course Gherkin's buddies too. Now Maxim Kalashnikov has now released a video stating that working class men versus these degenerates and all that whatnot. And the representatives of the radical traditionalist groups like Sorok Sorokov, Call of the People, and Federal Project for Security and Anti-Corruption. Well, everyone appealed to the Prosecutor General's office, apparently, and called this almost naked party an immoral celebration of the dark arts, and asked the authorities to investigate its organizers for propagating drug culture and the gay lifestyle. And yeah, although some have called for just administrative charges, others wanted a full-on criminal investigation. One of the recurring complaints is that Ivleev's festivities come at a time when Russia is busy invading Ukraine, and how can this be? It is obviously horrible. You cannot basically have fun while war is going on, and apparently Russia is doing all this in defense of traditional values, about whom we learned last time, against the onslaught of Western decadence and progressivism. Yes, this is again one of those very stupid things. Yekaterina Mizulina, the head of Safe Internet League, campaigned aggressively to purge Russian popular culture of drug references and other unholy cravings. And her objections to dangerous content often lead to real consequences for the artists. So everything possible everywhere. So on December 21st, Mizulina urged a boycott at a state level of the celebrities who attended this almost naked party. I mean, it was just too much for her. Just too insane. And she said, quote, "Our soldiers at the front definitely are not fighting for this. These raves are like firing a bullet into the foot of the entire policy implemented by the state. Because obviously, why not? And it's not even all this stuff. Everyone just blamed all sorts of. They were also blaming of all sorts of things that this could just somehow do more gay lifestyle things and everything. And this was just. Yeah, this is just going insane. And this went down to the Russia's Federal Censor Office, who claimed to find LGBT propaganda and photos from this almost naked party. Lawmaker Alexander Hinstein reported on Friday that there are signs of LGBT propaganda and that there will be more investigations and there will be arrests. And they arrested this rapper Vasilyev guy, right? And he was once again forced to do a public, very much public apology, right? It's like all these stupid things where they force you to apologize, and I mean, everyone knows it's fake and forced, but it's just so stupid. Ksenia Sobchak, one of the most famous media figures who was also at the party, issued a statement responding to these conservative activists, basically Gherkin's buddies, who took issue with this, with this party while, quote unquote, Russia is at war. In a Telegram post, she said that the world isn't fair and no mourning can last forever. You might not like to look at all this, but where and when adults decide to walk around with their bare arses around is their own personal business. Which is pretty cute. Except, if everyone else would understand other people's personal business would also just actually work that way. It all ended up with the party organizer Nastya Vilyev initially posted that she loves getting hate for hosting risk events, but soon to later did this post and posted an apology video, because of course she did. And she said the event on December 24th, on Christmas, she said the event was intended to serve as the launch of a photo project she created as a Playboy magazine's editor-in-chief a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, and apparently this never came about due to Playboy's exit from Russia. And she promised she would give all the profits from the event to charity. BBC News Russia noted that Ivalyev's anti-war posts on Instagram, which he had posted shortly after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, they had been taken down. Not surprised there. And all this event, basically what happened is that after this event, a class action lawsuit against her was adopted, which was at that point signed by no less than 9 people. 9 people. And the plaintiffs demanded that the organizer lady gave $11 million to defenders of the Fatherland Foundation and all that stuff. It's just insane. It's just insane how, last week we spoke about their own Western decadence articles being posted in academia, and now we have a party where Russia's celebrities go in and a dress code is almost naked, and then someone gets angry and nothing really changes here. This is just very, very stupid. On the bright side, however, well, if you can call it bright side, we finally have news that Navalny is alive after all. He shared his first message from, well, guess what? Arctic prison, after, people feared his disappearance. I would say, if CIA is listening to this, Arctic prison is pretty close. You can extradite him. And apparently, he has resurfaced in prison in Russia's far north after a 19-day period where no one knew where he was. Apparently, the dispatch shared to his social media, Navalny said he was transferred to the remote village of Kharp from his previous prison in Vladimir via a roundabout route that took him through Moscow, Chelyabinsk, Yekaterinburg, Kirov, and Vorkuta. He called himself a Santa Claus and said that he's exhausted but fine and in a good mood. Apparently, he's even grown a bit of beard. Just more and more sanity. However, as the new year is coming over, one other thing that we cannot really avoid is how Russia's laws are going to change. That's a thing because, again, we've been talking about how Navalny is being arrested, how these parties are being organized, and all this stuff is, of course, got to go into the criminal law and administrative one as well, not to be taken lightly. But before we get to that, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's supporting me on Patreon and sending me emails. Sorry if I haven't been active that much. And we also have movies to watch on Discord. It's just that I've really been feeling sick, and it's the end of the year as well, so it isn't as fun. And again, COVID is the painful thing. I puke a lot. I don't feel very well at all. But I'm trying my best not to give up on anything and trying to give you as many episodes as I can. So if you want to support the show, then please go to theeasternborder.lv and click the donate button there. Or, you can just go to the patreon.com/theeasternborder and become a patron there. Also, I know that if you listen through this through Acast, they give you some option to click there. That works too, I suppose. But all in all, the best way is just mail us or just click the Eastern Border page thing. That would be really nice if you do that. It would help a lot with the show. At any rate, we're trying as my best as we can. Nothing's really easy, but nothing ever really is easy. But we're trying our best, and after this criminal law things, when I'm going to have to talk about Arestovich, that's going to be a bit of a sad thing. So thank you for being here with me, and thank you for supporting the show. And I wish I could do a bit more for you guys. Just right now, I don't feel healthy enough for that. But in due time, it's gonna be fine. But now I have to get back to the Russian criminal law, because obviously nothing is ever as simple as just a few new rules here. There is going to be a felony liability for distributing false information about volunteer formations organized by people assisting the Russian military. This offense is punishable by no less than 15 years in prison, 10 to 15 years in prison. The upper limit is possible in aggravated cases. I mean, I don't know what an aggravated case would be in this case, but it's definitely quite a heavy punishment, to be honest. Like 10 to 15 years. There'll be apparently a call for stricter penalties for discrediting Russia's armed forces. An expanded list of crimes for which men are sent to prison to serve part of their sentences and all this stuff. The list now includes participation in terrorist groups, creating sabotage groups, and undergoing training for sabotage activities. All which is beautiful. And the big problem is that we have some people already who have basically gone through this in the weirdest, stupidest thing ever, because apparently in some Khabarovsk Krai, the really far off lands of Russia, two ladies, both of them are pensioners, both of them are female, both of them have been sentenced for aiding Ukraine, because apparently in their Telegram groups they had some sort of goal to gather enough money to do some help, or just help Ukraine. And it's hard to talk about, is because that one of them got 7 years in prison, other one got 8 years in prison for helping out Ukraine. That was the big thing. And this is not even treason case at this point. This is where they actually admitted their own guilt and everything, because if they wouldn't have, well, then again, yeah, that would be a case for, well, treason. It's just one of those cases where I don't even know where to begin with all this mess. But yeah, apparently this is what you get. So to my listeners in Russia, if you hear some sort of a call for basically aiding Russia in some way, aiding Ukraine in some way or form or something like that, just be very careful, okay? Be very, very careful, because there are some people who are just using this as the KGB and just tricking people into doing all these nonsense things. Again, one of those scariest things that have happened there is just, again, in the early war, I remember how people were just, again, saying how these newly liberated soldiers who had sat in prisons, they were now heroes and everything. And there was a guy who had planned and murdered his friend's family. Then he had planned to murder his wife, and then he went and served for 6 months as Wagner Group. Now he came back, and now he has been arrested. He's gonna get off easy because of all the situation. But if you kind of want to basically protest in any way or form, then that's going to be just ridiculous. Another thing is that if you remember Soviet Union's Article 58, which was just how everyone could get into prison all the time, well, State Duma deputies voted unanimously to pass in third reading a bill for amending the Russian Criminal Code, and this article on disruptive activities classified as sabotage. The amended Article 281 will have 3 new paragraphs: 281.1, aiding sabotage; 281.2, training for the purposes of sabotage; and 281.3, organizing or participating in the sabotage organization. All this stuff is just so many years in prison. Recruiting and persuading a person to take part in active sabotage will be 8 to 15 years. When involving abuse of power, the same crime may lead to 10 to 20 years sentence. Similarly, aiding and abetting sabotage will lead to a 10 to 20-year-old sentence, and if in groups and organizing and sponsoring, 15 to 20 years with possibility of life in prison. At the same time, they're lacking people, they're lacking everything really that's going on in normal countries. They're lacking manpower in their own factories. But this is happening and going on. And with all this new nonsense, with all this new stuff, I'd like to just warn you about ignoring Arestovich as much as possible whenever he just pops up. Even Fagin now ignores him. I mean, he now starts calling Putin a rational agent. He blames the West for everything. He's started to just basically worshipping Russia in a way and becoming a Soviet, some sort of a patriot. Arestovich has just changed his mood completely. And weirdly enough, he's taking part in sharing his things that he now is bumbling about with Yulia Latinin and other opposition people. And I'm just amazed how much can can a person really change? Because this is just, well, this is just something else, to be honest. This is truly something else which I had never expected I would even see. Because he's changed 150%. For example, although he claims that he's, since he started lying and doing all sorts of nonsense, he also started claiming that that apparently he's being searched for in Ukraine, and that the people over there are now aggressively looking for him or something, which is obviously nonsense. But just, well, he's under arrest, but he's now claimed that he's being persecuted for his political activities, although he really wants to just discuss everything and blame everything on the West. His idea is to get real chummy with Putin and then blame everything on the West and then do a peace deal. And he claims that he's being invited in very, shall we say, high-standing parties, high-standing events, so to speak, with which are happening inside, apparently, United States as well, where he's being invited as a very special guest or something. I'd personally blame Austria or something, because sounds like something that that Austrians would probably do. It is just that it is a bit strange how all this nonsense is mashing around. Recently, I read again yet another of his interviews and how he's just changed completely. I don't even know why and how people still collaborate with him, because he's now stating that Ukraine's lying all the time, although he's the one doing the lying, and he's now saying that NATO is a total nonsense and that NATO just that Ukraine should do things with Russia. Like, just it's so much of idiocy, okay? It's so much of utter stupidity that just wanted to let you know before you basically try to do something about Arestovich, before you listen to someone who's quoting him. Yeah, just be careful. I'm gonna have to make a whole episode on this matter. But for now, Arestovich is not to be trusted. He has his own political ambitions, and he's gone full insane, I'd say. But that's about it. But, I have to deal with my own headaches. And to be honest, with a bunch of COVID stuff as well, because this really doesn't feel that well, as you can probably imagine. Thank you for listening, and we're going to have an episode before New Year's. And again, like I told you, I have a lot of things that I want to do before the new year, which isn't as simple as I'd like them to be. At any rate, до свидания, товарищи. And remember, as always, happiness is mandatory. Oh, and in case of whatever, the war is going to be a long thing, and I'm working on the marriage, but just don't lose hope. Because right now, it's all about this whole public image thing. And just don't buy into things which are, well, sometimes they look clearly faked. Just saying. До свидания, товарищи.